But right now, such a long election campaign, you are guaranteed a few gaffes and blunders along the way, Pete.
You are?
And this week's...
You are indeed.
The cringeworthy moment, I think, came from Queensland MP Bob Hawke.
Oh, yeah. Right, he's got a bit of the old Dirty Harry going on there. It's been widely panned, with many critics calling the ad abhorrent and in poor taste, especially in light of the horrible events in Orlando this week, the worst mass gun attack in recent American history. So we've brought in advertising expert Carolyn Miller and political strategist Bruce Hawker, who join us now. Good morning to you. Thanks for coming in. It's always an enjoyable segment, this one. First of all, hit or miss?
Oh, well, I think it was a miss for Bob Katter. It was a bad miss, mainly because of the timing, and probably only really because of the timing. And he compounded the problem by claiming that he didn't realise that there'd been a massacre.
Said he didn't read the papers, but really...
Yeah.
That's kind of an outrageous thing. You're in the middle of an election campaign. You've got to know what's going on, Carolyn.
I actually think it's hilarious, though, because I haven't really heard from Bob up until this moment. And so for him to come in with a great gaffe like this is actually a very Bob Katter thing to do. He does have that larrikin kind of personality of going, bugger the rest of the world, this is Australia. But there's no question it's in poor taste. But he's actually riding on that to get the publicity.
And we're talking about him now, which was the aim, I suppose. But he made the point that, you know, the whole political correctness has meant that you can't sort of come out with ads like that, you know, take away the setting of the Orlando situation. Does he have a point that we are making it hard to kind of get messages across?
Well, I think he's going to appeal to a certain segment of the community that thinks exactly that. I mean, that's the Donald Trump sort of view of the world as well, that, you know, I will not be censored. John Howard famously said, I'm going to lift the veil on self-censorship, allowing people to debate these issues that in the past we've probably been reluctant to do. So, yeah, he's probably... will get support out of that.
I think Pauline Hanson's probably doing a similar kind of thing.
Yeah, she's tapping in on it as well.
All right, last night's leaders faced off for the first time on Facebook. There's some of the images there. Now, there is some conjecture over the numbers. There's some estimates this morning being bandied around that there's up to 2 million people who watched it.
I think it was close to 120,000.
Yeah, maybe. It's hard to agree with that. That's the amount of times it actually appeared in people's timelines. Now, is this a good move? You know, I mean, I see where he's going with that, but was that successful? I
think that the area where this was most successful was for Facebook. So they've recently just launched this whole live streaming platform, which they really want advertisers and marketers to get involved with, to be able to live stream events.
Tick for them.
Massive tick for them. They're getting huge publicity out of that. To be honest with you, I'm not entirely sure how many people really want to have politics in their newsfeed.
Yeah.
So I think that if you are interested in politics, then fine, you can go and find these things out. But the average population is not going to spend their Friday night.
Because that's interesting. We're always talking about how social media is changing the way of campaigning, but you're right, having these pop-ups every now and then can be annoying.
Oh, absolutely.
It's like, leave it away. The space is on the telly with the ads or the door knocking, but not on my social media.
Sure, but you know, about 20% of advertising spend in this election will be around social media. So it's getting up there, and that's consistent with what's happening in the United States. So, and it's where a lot of young people are actually starting to get their information from. So, you know, I think we're going to see more of it, and I don't think it's a bad thing. And they're getting spin-off. We're talking about it again now, and it's getting replayed on the TV. Bill Shorten had a bit of a trick there that he pulled that got a lot of you know, support. So I think it was all pretty
getting people to like him if they wanted the NBN. It was sort of an easy win for the Facebook crowd.
It was an easy hit.
I can't wait to see whether or not they start posting this as memories on Facebook. Remember your 2016 election.
Yeah, right, exactly. They'll be like, remove that, X that one,
All right, well, this week we also saw former Prime Minister Bob Hawke star in a new Labor Party ad, warning voters that the coalition has secret plans to privatise Medicare.
And now the Liberals have set up a Medicare privatisation task force. Everybody knows you don't set up a Medicare privatisation task force unless you aim to privatise Medicare. Help Bill Shorten and Labor stand up to protect Medicare, which means protecting you and your family.
All right, Carolyn, obviously a Labor Party star, Bob Hawke is. I mean, they're always going to do this, aren't they? They're going to bring the formers back into play?
I think that when you're as beloved as Bob Hawke was, and that was a really positive time for Australia. I mean, everyone remembers one of his great lines of when we won the America's Cup, of him not sacking anyone for coming into work, those sorts of things. He has such a good amount of heritage, particularly for a certain generation of people, to be able to remind them of what they've done really well in the past gives a lot of leverage over what they're doing at the moment.
In the same way that John Howard's been used as well for the coalition.
Yeah.
And we have seen, though, of course, the PM, Malcolm Turnbull come out very strongly saying this is a scare campaign, they're trying to, we'll never touch Medicare, but it sort of plants the seed, doesn't it?
Yeah, well, they are doing something. There have been plans there to, they're certainly being investigated. So anything that goes anywhere near Medicare is going to excite a lot of interest in the public and a lot of fear. So I think this is an effective ad.
Yeah.
Does he still have the pull?
Yes, absolutely. And I really think with this particularly, because he's a much older man now, he has that heritage of a grandpa just telling you what's right.
Yeah,
For a scare ad, it's not scary at all. It's a sort of thing that can seed a little bit of doubt in your mind, but feeling that's coming from a very comfortable place.
Yeah.
So, I think he has a huge amount of influence.
Interesting twist. All right, and there's been a lot of various ads coming out as well. The Labor Party also giving away a chance to meet Chloe Shorten backstage at the party's official campaign launch party. I find that's interesting because I think she's really a hidden weapon for Labor, and obviously they're tapping in on that.
Yeah, well, I've met Chloe Shorten, and she's a delightful woman and charming, just like her mother, the former Governor-General. So I think that's a very important thing for Bill Shorten, for any leader, to broaden their base, their appeal, to say to people, well, this is my family, this is my wife, this is who would be with me if I was in the lodge. People are very interested in that.
And humanises them as
I was
well.
going to say, humanises them.
And this is a big gender play too for me. I don't believe there's a huge number of men necessarily who'd like to come and meet Chloe, but women are very interested in networking with other successful women. So I certainly think from a gender point of view that they're really being able to open up and say that we're across both genders, we're across both kind of interests, and we really do care about what your interests are as well.
It's a really interesting move.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming in, guys. We'll have to get you in for the final 2 more weeks of it, eh?
Almost there.
Exciting.
Are we there yet? They yell from the back seat.
But who's counting?
Great stuff.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for coming in.
Natalia.